As an English learner, have you ever felt lost when someone uses an idiom you don't understand? It's a common struggle, but don't worry, today, we're going to master the idiom fair enough. Understanding this everyday expression can go a long way in improving your communication skills. Let me share a funny story about a time when someone misunderstood the literal meaning of fair enough. My friend, who was new to English, thought it meant the weather was pleasant and agreeable. So when I said, "I can't make it to the party tonight," fair enough, he replied, "Yes, the weather is very fair today." Needless to say, we had a good laugh about that mix-up. So, what does fair enough actually mean? It's a way of saying that's reasonable or I can accept that. The idiom likely originated from the idea of something being fair or just in a given situation. Let me show you how to use fair enough correctly. Imagine your boss asks you to work late on a Friday night. You could say, "I had plans, but fair enough, I understand the project is a priority." In this case, you're acknowledging the request as reasonable, even though it may not be your preference. Here are some more examples of how to use fair enough in different contexts. Casual conversation: "I don't love the new design, but fair enough, it's your call." Formal setting: "The deadline is tight, but fair enough, we'll do our best to meet it." Negative context: "I'm disappointed, but fair enough, I should have turned in the report on time." Humorous context: "You want me to wear a clown costume to the party? Fair enough, I'm game." Literary context: "The proposal was not without merit, fair enough, but it lacked vision." Business setting: "I understand your concerns about the budget, fair enough, let's explore some alternatives." Social media: "I disagree with your opinion, but fair enough, we're all entitled to our views." To help you remember the meaning of fair enough, think of a scale or balance. When you say fair enough, it's like you're acknowledging that both sides of the argument or situation have been considered and the outcome is reasonable. Now, let's dive into some fun facts about the idiom fair enough. While the exact origin is uncertain, the phrase fair enough likely emerged in the late 17th or early 18th century, gaining popularity in the 19th century. Early examples show its use in contexts related to trade and agreements, reflecting its core meaning of fairness and acceptability. The idiom embodies a pragmatic approach to communication, common in many cultures, particularly those valuing politeness and indirectness. While often associated with British culture, its use is widespread across English-speaking countries. While fair enough shares similarities with that's fair and that's reasonable, subtle differences in connotation exist. Fair enough can sometimes imply a slight reservation or reluctance, whereas the others express more straightforward agreement. The phrase has been used in popular culture. For instance, in Friends, Chandler often says fair enough when he concedes a point humorously. Let's look at some idioms and phrases related to fair enough. Similar: "That's reasonable, I can live with that, I see your point." Opposite: "That's not fair, I disagree, I'm not convinced." Related: "It's a fair cop, all's fair in love and war, a fair shake." Here's an example of how you could use fair enough in a sentence. "I was hoping to leave work early, but fair enough, the project deadline is more important right now." And here's how you could rephrase the same idea without using the idiom. "I was hoping to leave work early, but I understand that the project deadline is more important right now." Let me share a real-life story that shows the power of using fair enough effectively. I was negotiating a contract with a client, and they were pushing for some terms that I wasn't comfortable with. Instead of getting defensive, I said, "I hear your concerns, fair enough. Let's see if we can find a compromise that works for both of us." This diffused the tension and allowed us to have a productive discussion. Now, let's address some common mistakes and how to avoid them when using fair enough. Grammatical error, saying that's fair enough instead of just fair enough. The idiom is a standalone expression. Meaning misunderstanding. Believing fair enough refers to something being just average or sufficient, instead of acknowledging it as reasonable. Inappropriate context, using fair enough in a heated argument or when you strongly disagree, as it may come across as dismissive. Let's test your understanding of fair enough with a quick quiz. 1. What does fair enough mean? A. The weather is pleasant. B. That's reasonable. C. I strongly disagree. Correct answer, B. 2. Which of these is a synonym for fair enough? A. That's not fair. B. I can live with that. C. I'm not convinced. Correct answer, B. 3. Which of these is an antonym for fair enough? A. That's fair. B. I see your point. C. I disagree. Correct answer, C. In summary, fair enough is a versatile idiom that allows you to acknowledge something as reasonable, even if it may not be your first choice. By understanding its meaning, usage, and cultural context, you'll be able to communicate more effectively in a variety of situations. Now it's your turn. Try using fair enough in a sentence and share it with us in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more English idiom lessons.
Fair enough. They are disorders of behavior.
Fair enough. Now, what's the secret to comedy?
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Okay, that's fair enough.